Jim Jones was at his breaking point. His baby had gone missing, a covert DNA test had been conducted, and rumors of a secret scandal were rife on the internet. The rumors had reached a boiling point. He initially disregarded it, dismissing the rumors as he usually did. But Jim finally lost it when his family began to be hounded, and when strangers asked him questions about something so intimate. And now he's breaking his silence in a tearful, passionate tirade. Live on video. Jim Jones, who is typically calm and reserved, startled fans by slamming the false rumors with a ferocity they had never witnessed. He called out those who had been spreading the misinformation and confronted the charges head-on, his voice cracking. "You guys have me screwed up. Discussing my child in this manner? Enough is enough." However, Jim's outburst did not end the debate. Rather, it fueled it further. Fans were left with even more questions after his response. Was Jim concealing something more significant, or was this merely a rumor with no real basis? This narrative is far from over, so stay tuned. With his hands on the table's edge and his eyes fixed on the camera, Jim Jones inhaled deeply. His normal confidence was rattled, and his face was strained. He had kept quiet too long in the hopes that the gossip would go away on its own. However, they hadn't. Rather, they had only become more irrational, twisted, and intimate. Every day, new headlines appeared. Secret DNA test, TNFIRN's shocking truth. Jim Jones' baby missing. The internet had taken a simple moment in his life and made it into a full-fledged conspiracy. And now he was forced to deal with it. He looked straight ahead and let out a quick sigh. He began, "Listen," his tone solid yet a little shaky. His eyes darkened as he leaned closer and said, "I don't usually do this. I don't entertain nonsense. But y'all taking it too far. This concerns my child. You are playing with my family, and I will not tolerate it." The live conversation immediately erupted. The screen was inundated with messages from fans asking, "What's going on?" Jim wasn't reading the comments, but he said, "Tell us the truth, Jim. Is the infant really missing?" Delivering the truth, or at least his version of it, was his only concern. "First of all, let's be clear, my baby is fine. Nothing is wrong, no one is missing, and there isn't a damn secret DNA test. All of it is false." His every action was one of frustration as he shook his head. "I don't know who started this mess, but y'all got people calling my family, harassing us, talking about some we deserve answers." "Answers to what?" He laughed. "There isn't any narrative here. There is nothing to explain. The issue was that the harm had already been done." The notion that something untoward was happening had been the talk of social media for weeks. It all began with a single grainy photograph of Jim standing outside a clinic, looking solemn with his phone put to his ear. With it, a gossip blog speculated that he had recently been the recipient of shocking news. People were piecing together their own stories in a matter of hours. The mother is hiding something. He took a DNA test. He discovered the baby isn't his. The rumors got out of hand, and before Jim could even respond, his name was making headlines for all the wrong reasons. He initially disregarded it. Having worked in the field long enough, he was aware of how quickly rumors circulate. He assumed that people would turn their attention to the next major scandal. Then everything got out of hand. And someone who claimed to be close to the situation revealed that Jim had been acting strange ever since the baby was born. He's been distant. He doesn't post about the baby. He doesn't bring them around his crew. Something's off. That was all that was needed. The internet exploded with hypotheses, analyzing every interview clip, social media post, every public event. His tone, body language, and even his smile were all examined by fans. Watch him in this video. His expression is preoccupied. That's the face of a man who recently learned something unexpected. Why hasn't he shared images of the infant recently? Is he concealing something? The charges came quickly. Another bombshell was released just when it appeared like things would settle down. An even more outrageous assertion was made by a woman who wished to remain nameless. Jim's infant has gone missing. The statement was sufficient while being ambiguous and obscure. The blog that published it just stated that sources had confirmed that something odd was taking place behind the scenes, without offering any evidence or specifics. The internet then sprung into life. People began to ask for clarification. They tormented Jim's family members, bombarded his direct messages, and even tagged him in postings. Supporters believed that something was being concealed. Jim's patience became thin. "Where's the baby, Jim? Why don't you just SOS? If nothing's wrong, prove it." The pressure continued to mount, despite his first attempts to dismiss it with ambiguous posts about people believing anything. His own friends began to inquire, so it wasn't only online anymore. At that point, he realized he needed to deal with it. Jim's fury was now bubbling over as he sat in front of the camera. Not only was he upset by the rumors, but he was also upset at how quickly people believed them. He was now raising his voice, saying, "You guys don't even think before you run with a lie." After reading something on one blog, everyone suddenly had sources and inside information. Dude! He shook his head and wiped his face. He appeared worn out. I've worked in this field for years, so I understand how it operates. However, fans weren't persuaded despite his passionate reaction. But when you guys start bringing up my child, when you start saying my son is missing like this criminal show, that's where I draw the line. The rumors had grown too much. What about Jim's response? It merely increased suspicion. Because why was he so defensive if he really had nothing to hide? As the live discussion continued to erupt, Jim Jones leaned back in his chair and massaged his temples. People wouldn't let it go, no matter how flatly he denounced the rumors. It was like trying to put out a grease fire with water. The more he tried, the worse it grew. He whispered to himself, "Man, this is crazy," and then turned back to face the camera. He pointed straight at the TV and said, "I shouldn't even have to explain myself like this, but since you guys want to act like detectives, let me make this real clear. No baby is missing. There is no secret DNA test, and there is no mystery woman presenting receipts." However, that was insufficient, because another twist was developing online at that precise moment, when Jim was attempting to silence the commotion. On a well-known gossip blog, a new piece appeared, this time featuring a purportedly leaked audio tape. Exclusive audio of Jim Jones talking about his baby's situation. "He sounds stressed," was the title, and the video quickly went viral. Eager to learn what was purportedly proof that something untoward was happening, thousands of individuals clicked on the link. "I don't even know what to do about this, man. I ain't never been in a situation like this before," a muffled voice, purportedly that of Jim, could be heard saying in the video. That was all that was required. This isn't meant to be public. The internet took off. "He's HIDDENING civil thank. He admitted IT." Even many who had first supported Jim began to doubt everything. Jim just exposed himself. What's not meant to be public, huh? His social media was inundated with fans for an explanation. We need answers now. Jim was still live on camera, screaming that he was fed up with the falsehoods and he had no idea what was going on. Then his phone began to explode. Notifications, missed calls, and texts. Something significant had just happened. The name of his manager appeared on the screen. With a groan, he grabbed up. "Yo, what's up?" The other end was silent for a while. Then his manager's low, strained voice could be heard. "We have an issue." Jim scowled. "What now?" "A recording was released, dude, and it's already gone viral. They claim it's you talking about your baby." Jim's jaw tightened. "What recording?" "I don't know, but it's all over." "Man, get the out of here. You must deal with this immediately." Jim's stomach clenched. After hanging up, he quickly opened his phone and browsed through his contacts. As he watched the video being circulated repeatedly, his eyes narrowed. As he listened, he tapped on it and moved the phone closer to his ear. And his blood froze the moment he heard the voice. It didn't sound like him after all. Jim, however, was aware that he never stated those words. He slapped the phone onto the table and said, "Oh, hell no." This was a whole other level. No longer was it merely a rumor. Someone was really fabricating evidence. Jim inhaled deeply in an attempt to quell the anger that was building within of him. "All of Oak? All right. You want to play this that way? Let's go," he said, turning back to the camera while holding onto the table's edges. Now his face was very serious. "All right, let's discuss this alleged leaked recording." The conversation erupted. "He's going to take care of it." "Jim, be honest, dude." Jim said, "We'd heard the audio, you can't deny it now." In a cold tone, "That recording, first of all, fake. AI, edited, call it what you want. That isn't me. That's some clown." However, the internet didn't believe it. People were looking for evidence. They began dissecting the voice footage frame by frame and comparing it to previous interviews. According to some, the tone matched flawlessly. Some claimed that there were inconsistencies that demonstrated its manipulation. Then, as if things couldn't get any worse, there was another surprise. The source of the leaked recording was revealed to be a woman. In a grainy video, she appeared to say, "Jim is lying. He knows the truth. He's just upset that it's out now." That recording, 100% true, and I learned more about the source of that. The internet went crazy. It's getting crazy. Drop the other recordings. Jim finished. The whole night had become a nightmare for him. People's doubts about him grew as he denied more. The more he retaliated, the more he appeared to be concealing something. He struck the table with his fists. "You want me to prove it? Okay, I'll do that. I'll enlist the help of my lawyer and consult with tech specialists. When the truth is revealed, you're going to feel really stupid." But he knew in his heart, the damage was already done. Jim Jones reclined in his chair and gazed incredulously at the TV. His live chat was going crazy, with comments coming in so quickly that he was having trouble keeping up. He rubbed his brow and muttered, "This is crazy, guy. Do you actually trust anything they throw at you?" However, what he stated was irrelevant. He was already guilty, according to the internet. And now the strain was increasing every second as this enigmatic woman claimed to have more tapes. Jim picked up his phone and returned the call to his manager. He didn't even wait for a hello when the call connected. "You see this?" yelled Jim. "What the is going on, bro? This lady is now claiming to have more tapes." His manager let out a sigh. Jim wiped his face and said, "Yeah, I saw. This is bad, man. Real bad." His manager paused before saying, "I need to know who's behind this. Now, listen, I don't want to give away too much over the phone, but we're investigating. There are some rumors circulating regarding the origin of this." Jim gripped his phone more tightly. "What rumors?" His manager eventually replied after a protracted silence. Jim froze and said, "It might be someone close to you." His manager sighed, "No way. You're suggesting someone I know did this. I don't want to blame anyone just yet, but you should be cautious about who you put your trust in at the moment." Jim shook his head, his thoughts whirling. Who in hell would harm him like this? Who would go to this length to spread unfounded rumors about a non-existent baby? Then his phone buzzed with another notice as he was thinking about it. A popular gossip page has just published a new post. The woman behind the Jim Jones baby drama speaks us out, and she's closer to him than you think. Jim's stomach sank. He waited for the page to load after tapping the link. His whole body froze as he saw the photo that was affixed to the post, because it was a familiar face staring back at him. Chrissy Lampkin, his own fiance. As Jim read the caption beneath her photo, his vision became blurry with anger. According to insiders, Chrissy might have had a direct or indirect hand in the audio leak. Stay tuned for updates. Jim threw his phone down on the table. According to sources, tension has been high between her and Jim for months, and this recent drama may be the result of private conflicts leaking into the public glare. There is no way. This was a ruse. His entire life was being torn apart by someone, and now they were now involving Chrissy. Jim took up his phone again right away and dialed her number. Before she answered, the phone rang twice. She demanded, "What the hell is going on?" Jim let out a quick exhale. "Why am I seeing my face all over these blogs?" "I don't know, but we need to talk." "Where you at?" "I'm furious, Jim. People are phoning me right now to ask if I'm involved in this disaster." Jim was already reaching for his keys. "I'm on my way." He entered their home 15 minutes later, his mouth tensed. With her arms folded and her phone flashing with alerts every few seconds, Chrissy was seated on the couch. He stepped in and she looked up. Jim hesitated for too long before answering. "Tell me right now, do you think I did this?" Chrissy's gaze expanded. "Chrissy, pay attention. Oh my God, you really think I would do something like this?" "No, that Jim. After everything we've been through." Jim sighed and took a seat across from her. "You think I would spread some doombast rumor about you having a secret baby? I'm not sure what to think at the moment. Someone is trying to harm me, and now your name is involved." Chrissy shook her head angrily. "I just need to know the truth. I already told you, I don't know anything about this. But you want to know who might?" Jim sighed. Chrissy leaned closer and asked, "Who?" Jim's breath seized in his throat. "Mama Jones." "Ma?" "No way," Chrissy sneered. "You know how she acts when she wants attention, so you honestly believe she wouldn't do something ridiculous like this?" Jim balled his hands into fists. Eyes widened as her phone buzzed again, and she said, "I can't believe this man. This is a whole movie. Oh, no way in hell. Jim, you must see this. His heart stopped when she swung the screen in his direction, because Mama Jones herself was on a recent Instagram Live. She was also discussing the rumors. Let me tell you something. Jim has been acting quite secretive recently. I'm not sure what is true or not. I asked him directly about this baby scenario, and he didn't give me a definitive response. I'm not sure, but perhaps there is some truth to it. Jim jumped up from his chair. What the devil is she up to? Chrissy gave a head shake. Jim was already calling his mother's number when he said, "She's stirring the pot, Jim." Just like she always does. She didn't answer the phone even though it kept ringing. Rather, she laughed and heightened the drama as she spoke to her listeners. All I'm saying is, where there's smoke, there's fire, and right now it's looking real smoky. The web went ADOL. According to his own mother, there may be some truth to it. You better start talking, Jim. Jim was trembling with anger. This was now war, not just some trivial rumor. This catastrophe had been started by someone. That funny recording had been planted by someone. It seemed like the world was against him now, especially with his own mother stoking the fires. Jim, however, wasn't going down quietly. He was going to put a definitive end to this. Jim Jones thought the walls were closing in around him. The internet was going crazy about his own mother's recent act of putting petrol on the fire. Jim Jones' mom drops a bombshell about his secret baby. Mama Jones hints that Jim might be hiding the truth, were headlines that appeared on every blog, gossip website, and social media platform. Jim smashed his fist against the table. Chrissy was shaking her head in shock as she continued to go through her phone. This is out of control, man, she said. Jim rubbed both palms down his face and said, "They're not letting up, Jim. People are running with this like it's that, Kate. I need to repair this right now." He went live on Instagram without hesitation. The number of viewers soared as soon as his face popped up on the screen. At quick speed, thousands of people poured in and left comments. Just be honest, Jim. Why would your own mother lie? Where's the baby, Jim? Jim exhaled deeply, his expression tight with annoyance. All right, let's be clear. You guys truly believe that I have a whole freaking baby out here and just… What? Had it? You guys are crazy. Jim wasn't finished with the remarks, though. Every few months, someone makes up some stupid rumor about me, and I'm tired. His voice became sharper. First it was the DNA test, and now it's a missing baby. Do you guys actually believe anything? Look, I adore my mom, but let's face it, she loves attention. And now they're bringing my mother into this? She wants to share her thoughts because she sees a rumor going crazy, but let me tell you something. She doesn't know anything about this since there is nothing to know. Chrissy nodded next to him, her arms crossed. Indeed, the entire situation is a farce. And the internet's gullibility is demonstrated by the fact that people are still discussing it. Jim was about to finish his tirade when something occurred that made everything 10 times worse. In the discussion, a fresh comment appeared that instantly drew his attention. Then why is your mom saying she's getting a PAT or an ITA test? Jim felt his heart race faster. While reading the comments, he murmured, "What the are you talking about?" The same thing was being said by an increasing number of people. Mama Jones claims that she is handling things herself. Jim, she's not playing. She's talking to lawyers about getting proof. Jim's blood ran cold. Changing tabs, he looked up his mother's name on Instagram. And there it was indeed. A brand new post straight from Mama Jones. Y'all want the truth. A paternity test is on the horizon. If Jim doesn't clarify things, I will. The caption was even worse. You wanted answers. The truth will always be revealed. So stay tuned, Jim said. He leaped from his chair and began to pace. No, Chrissy groaned. I'm done. I'm not doing this with her. Calm down, Jim. Calm down. I need to talk to my own mother right now because she's making this worse. Jim picked up his phone and dialed her. She picked up this time. Mama Jones remarked in an assertive tone, "Oh, so now you want to talk." Jim's jaw tightened. What the devil are you doing, Matt? I'm telling folks the truth, which is something you won't do. There isn't a damn baby, she admonished. Jim stroked his temples and said, "Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Are you really attempting to obtain a PAT or an ITA test for a non-existent baby, Matt?" Mama Jones took a while to respond. Rather, she uttered something that chilled Jim to the bone. What if I informed you? I have proof, Jim said, freezing. Mama Jones sighed dramatically. What? Jim, I wasn't going to remain silent, but someone sent me something. Jim felt sick to his stomach. And I think you need to see it. Sent you a. A pause ensued. A birth certificate, she finally said. Jim almost dropped his phone. Ma'am, what the hell are you talking about? A birth certificate, Jim, with your name on it. The conversation ended. Chrissy appeared astounded as well. Jim's heart was racing. His phone dinged a few seconds after he spoke. Send it to me, right now. He read the message. He had trembling hands. It was there. His whole name appears on a hazy, fuzzy page with a child's name stated underneath. Jim's throat tightened with breath. Chrissy grabbed the phone and examined it herself, thinking, this gotta be fake. Jim's eyesight became blurry as he said, I don't know. This looks real. This was not feasible. This cannot be taking place. And yet, it was there. The internet has been waiting for this so-called proof. He was linked to a child he had never heard of via a birth certificate. Officially, Jim Jones' world was completely upended. Jim's thoughts were racing as he sat there looking at the alleged birth certificate. Chrissy's voice seemed far away, like a tunnel echo. What if this is real, Jim? He gave a head shake. No, this isn't real. There must be some setup here. Clout chasing. However, the internet. They had no intention of waiting for an explanation. The picture spread like wildfire after being leaked within minutes. It was attacked by haters, bloggers, and fans. So Jim has been lying all along. How will he explain this? Why is he so silent if this is a fake? The walls were getting smaller around him as the pressure increased. Ignoring it was no longer an option. No more dismissing it. The only thing Jim could say was, you want the truth. After taking a long breath and staring directly into the camera. All right. I'll be honest with you. However, don't claim I didn't warn you when I do. The true question now is, what comes next? Is Jim Jones concealing something more significant than everyone anticipated, or is this just another perverse internet hoax? And who is responsible if this birth certificate is fraudulent? Tell us what you believe is actually happening by leaving a comment below. Additionally, remember to hit the notification bell, like, and subscribe because this story, it's far from over.